Hi, you have tuned into the Agron channel, and I'm your host, Djingis, and I'm here with our week 4 battle in the PSL. We are taking on the Cinnabar Island Charizard and Dawson, a new coach in the league. Don't really know too much about him, but it would be fun to battle him at least. We had some... we didn't have too much of a problem building versus his team, but like I could bring any combination of 6 that I really wanted to bring, but I just had to play well with the team. If I don't do that, there's no matter what team I do and I will lose. Like I have the matchup in my favor, in my opinion at least. So like this was an interesting matchup in that sense. And before I go on, I hope you don't hear it, but my PS4 is going hammers. Going bunkers, not hammers, going bunkers in the background, so I really hope you don't hear that in the microphone. But yeah, and I'm really tired. I just woke up and had to record this so I can get this up today. So if I yawn or something like that, bear with me. But let's go through his team. If I just can find it. Yeah, we have them. So he has the Tapu Koko, the Nidoking, the Umbreon, the Druddigon, the Typhlosion, the Floatzel, Mega Aerodactyl, Gliscor, Aself, Galvantula, Tsarina, and Gerdar. It's an interesting team with interesting dual electric types. With no, well, outside of Gliscor and Mega Aerodactyl, it doesn't have anything that wants to take an EQ. Umbreon and Druddigon can take them, but nothing else really wants to take them. Sure, Tsarina is a good one there as well, but his team is very weak to Darmanitan Diggersby, so I think that he will prep a lot for Darmanitan Diggersby, and he will prep a lot for the Regen Core. So I will not bring those 4 Pokemons. Well, I will bring one of them, that is Slowbro. I would not bring Amoonguss, I would not bring Darmanitan, I would not bring Diggersby, just so he overbuilds with those mons, because it's very easy to do when they are such big threats. And Scarf Darmanitan or Agility Diggersby wins me the game, more or less, because he can't do anything versus them. Looking at the team, what I think he will bring, it will be the Tapu Koko, the Nidoking, the Umbreon, Mega Aerodactyl, Gliscor, and then a Self. I think those 6 are like those that really stand out versus me. You can bring Gerdit, Tsarina, Galvantula, of course. Druddigon is also possible. But I feel like Tapu Koko, Nidoking, Umbreon, Mega Aerodactyl, Gliscor, Self are the given Pokemon here that he will use versus me. And those 6 I can build versus pretty easy. I got some tech moves as well, so I can face the rest of his team. But overall, my team is... as long as I calc correct and play correct, I will win this match 100%. That's how I see it, at least. So let's go over my team. First out, we have Galadriel, our Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir, with Gardevoir, of course, Pixelate, Hyper Voice, Psychic, Will-O-Wisp, and Wish. Oh, fucking hell. Come on, really? Hyper Voice, Psychic, Will-O-Wisp, and Wish. 252 HP, 4 defense, and 252 special attack with Modest Nature. Now, unless he has a Sashmon, Mega Gardevoir gets a kill every single turn it hits the field with Hyper Voice. If I can get the Wish up, I can sit there for 3 turns in a row and just attack. If the reason I have Will-O-Wisp and not Protect and Mega Gardevoir is, if I really want it, I could predict the Mega Aerodactyl to come in, or something like that, if he predicts me to Wish or something, and I can just click Will-O-Wisp and cripple it. But I feel like Protect might be the better move to have a Mega Gardevoir. But I went with Will-O-Wisp, and I feel like it didn't really matter in the matchup too much. Then we have, making its debut, is Black Star Riders, our Aselgar with Choice Spec Sticky Hold, U-Turn, Water Shuriken, Bug Buzz, and Sludge Bomb. 4 HP, 252 special attack, 252 speed, timid nature. This thing outspeeds Scarfed Nidoking, and Water Shuriken, if I get 5 hits, should be able to 1-hit KO it unless it is bulky. Sludge Bomb is a guaranteed 1-hit KO on Tapu Koko. Bug Buzz is a 2-hit KO on every type of Umbreon, and U-turns there for momentum. This thing just hits like a truck. Like, it doesn't have a lot for it. It's a great late game sweeper. It will do a ton versus his team. I would say how it will get used though. Then we have an interesting Lordy, to say the least. We have Lordy, our Hydreigon, Choice Scarf, Levitate, Earth Power, Draco Meteor, Tailwind, and Flamethrower. 4 HP, 252 Special Attack, Modest Nature, 252 Speed. This thing is speed tying with Scarfed Max Speed Nidoking, which is interesting. Modest hits like a truck versus his team. I think that if he's fully physically defensive Gliscor, I think Draco Meteor has a chance to 1-hit KO Gliscor, which is pretty nuts. Tailwind is just there in case I want to Galadriel to outspeed things for some turns, or I just stack Hydreigon off. Earth Power is of course there for his Nidoking, and then Flamethrower is just there for the Sarina, because I really need something to hit it with. But this thing destroys his team. I don't have U-turn on it, because I didn't feel it was necessary. But this is a good little mount to have versus his team. It's great. Also making its debut today, of course, Hydreigon. So that's what I did here. Like, I really wanted to give all of my team members a go on the playfield to see how they played, because I might do some changes to the squad, but I will wait and see. Next up, we have Twilightning our Zapdos with leftover Static Discharge, Roost, Defog, U-turn, 252 HP, 252 Special Defense, 4 Special Attack, Calm Nature. Just here to defog and to deal damage. Can take one hit from Phil if he's not adamant, or if he's not attacking boosting moves on Aerodactyl. I can take one hit and kill him back with Discharge. So yeah, that's about it really. Nothing else here. It's just here to take hits. Then we have Pain, our Slowbro with leftovers Regenerator, Scold, Slack Off, Ice Beam, Toxic, 252 HP, 252 Defense, Bold Nature with 4 Special Attack. This thing is here to destroy his team after a certain Umbreon goes down. He doesn't really have anything versus this thing, and if I can get the predictions right, I don't even have to worry about Umbreon. So that's about it. We all know what Slowbro does. Then we have Hailstorm, our Regice with leftovers, Clear Body, Ice Beam with Thunderbolt, Substitute Toxic, 248 HP, 252 Defense with Bold Nature, 8 Special Attack. You would have loved to run more special attack, but the neat thing here is if I get up sub, he cannot break it with his what it's called, his Umbreon at all. Like, Umbreon cannot break the sub. So if I get up Substitute, I can Toxic him, or if he already is Toxic, I can do that for free, more or less. Ice Beam Thunderbolt just deals tremendous amount of damage to his team. Ice Beam is a 1-hit KO on so many things, or close to 1-hit KO on everything, so I just need some chip damage to easily kill it. If I get rolls with me, this thing should have 4 kills in this match. Like, that's how good Regice is in this matchup with this moveset. The only problem is that this is a bit of a stall, and I hate stall. So I really hope that it doesn't turn down to this thing. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Like, if you draft Regice and you draft Regen Core, you will play some form of stall every now and then, even if you hate it. So it's not much I can do. But this thing is a monster. Like, I would love to show you some calcs. But if he's physically offensive, Tapu Koko, he cannot break my sub with Thunderbolt. If he is, and even if he's physically offensive, he might have some problem breaking my Substitute with U-turn. Which, like, Regice is such a bulky Pokemon. It's so good. But yeah, this is the team I have built versus him. So let's go into the battle and let's see what happens. Okay, here we are. So as you might have noticed, this is not a live match. Sorry for that. We played this game at like 9:30 PM my time, so it was pretty late. There was no way I could record the game live. So this will have to be a replay. It is what it is. But as you see, he brought the 6 months that I really thought he would bring: Tapu Koko, Nidoking, Umbreon, Aerodactyl, and Gliscor as self. So, right, as you see from the get-go, he has nothing. When Umbreon goes down, he has nothing for Regice at all. Looking at his team composition, Scarf Nidoking is a must. I can see Scarf as self as well. I can see the double Scarfers on a self and Nidoking. But that is a possibility. But most likely I think a self will be his suicide lead, getting up Stealth Rocks to cripple me, and that would actually be a bit of a problem. But yeah, I have no problem with the self in this matchup. Unless it is Focus Sashed, I should have no problem dealing with it. Tapu Koko is a bit more of a problem though, but if I can get in a Selger for it for free, then I can kill it with Sludge Bomb, no problem. And after that, he has nothing that wants to take an Ice Beam if I Toxic Umbreon and take care of it. So he's very, very ice weak, and I can also abuse his electric terrain on him as well. So that's pretty good to know. So let's go right into the battle and let's see what happens. Let's go to slow here. I lead with Baxter Riders, he leads with Nidoking. I'm just going to go for the U-turn, switch right out into Hydreigon to get the possible Earth Power. And he goes for Flamethrower, dealing not much damage to me, and this is where I get the intel that it's most likely Starved to any either non-boosting item. I go for the Earth Power myself just for the safe play, but he goes out into this thing, which is the correct way, of course. I don't really care about that. I just go right out into Slowbro, and he has nothing here that he can do. He just goes for the U-turn, does nothing to me. And he goes out into Tapu Koko. My switch into Tapu Koko is 100% Zapdos in this moment, because this is my least useful member. I don't really need it, and I eat that Thunderbolt, which means that he's physically offensive. So he's just gonna go for the U-turn. I am fine with that. He go out into Moonlight. I'm just gonna go for the U-turn myself, getting that slow U-turn off, getting in my Mega Gardevoir, and now I just Mega Evolve and I click Hyper Voice here, and he clicks Protect here on Moonlight. Like, I'm fine with that. I could have clicked Wish this turn, because then I could have stayed in a little bit longer, but it wouldn't have mattered since he switched out Umbreon on this turn into Magic, the Aself, and look at this power. That's power! So we wanted KO the Aself. It's not Sash. I'm pretty sure it was a Trick Choice Scarf to stop my Regen Core. Not that it really mattered. He goes out to do this thing, which I now know is Scarf the way he brought it in. He offers Sludge Wave, deals a tremendous amount of damage to me. But I am speed tag with this thing, but he doesn't know that he thinks I'm faster, so I just go for the Draco Meteor here. Almost wanted KOing the Scissors. Yes, some speed F investments. But he does not want to stay in again here. But I just switch out into Galadriel here, while he switches right out into Tapu Koko, and I stay in here clicking Wish, which is a bit of a misplay. I should have clicked Hyper Voice. But I survived that Supersonic Sky Strike, no problem. Well, I survive it, but it is what it is. So yeah, I get the Wish off at least, which will help Hailstorm. It will help him okay. Now, this is a big turn. I miscalc here. According to my calcs, Mega Aerodactyl should only do 33 to 40% to me, which I thought was, okay, I can just sub up on this thing or do something like that. Go for Ice Beam, damage it, like, that's all I really need. Or if it misses, that would be perfect. But, look and behold, it deals almost 80% to me. And I deal almost as much back to him. But the problem here is now I am at 21%. I really need to save Hailstorm. Like, I really need to use it, because that's my win con in my opinion. If I lose Hailstorm, there's no way I can deal with Umbreon. So I really need Hailstorm. The only problem here is I don't really know what I can switch in on and get my leftovers back. Like, I need to be very, very careful with how I play Regice now. Because of that miscalc. And it wasn't really miscalc on my part, it was just that the calculator on the showdown calculator sometimes freezes, and even if you go to the next Pokemon, it still has the same attack stats in when it calcs, which means that the last Pokemon I calced on that thing was Umbreon, and Umbreon doesn't do anything to me. So that was just okay. Yeah, thank you. So it calced max attack Adamant Umbreon with Stone Edge versus Regice with Stab Rock, which meant that it did a bit more damage than it should have done. But the Calyx was way off. It almost did double. Like, it did more than double the damage that it should have been according to my Calyx. That was the only reason I stayed in. Otherwise, I really would have sacked off Hydreigon here and go right out into a Selgor. But it is what it is. I get this health pack. I can click sub now at least, but I'm just gonna switch right out into Pain here, because this thing can take on anything that his stupid Mega would go for. He switches out into Moonlight. I click Toxic here, predicting that. I click Scold, of course, and I don't get the burn, and then I click, because Scold was the better play overall. And then I click Toxic here when on his Wish. So now this thing is Toxic. Now Regice can just come in and beat it up. I don't really care if I'm Toxic on Pain, because it has done its job now. He goes out into Kakazulu, and I go out into Hailstorm. Just get that leftovers recovery, and then I just go back out into Lordy, sack it off, whatever he goes for, and this was actually a roll. I could have survived that, which would have been nice, but it is what it is. Then I just go right out into Blackstar Riders, and I click Sludge Bomb. And I went into KO the Sakashulu, which is so good. So Blackstar Riders coming through. And goes out into Nidoking. I just go out into Pain here to take whatever he wants to do. He clicks Flamethrower, it doesn't really do too much to me. And I can just predict him to go out into Umbreon here and go out into Regice to click Substitute the next turn. And that is exactly what happens. He goes out into Umbreon, I just go out into Hailstorm. Back up at 40%, almost 40% with Hailstorm. And he's Toxic, I click Substitute on his Wish, or whatever he did here. Yeah, I click Wish, and I just click Substitute. And now I just sit here, and I get leftovers back every single time. He needs 4 hits to break my Substitute with that move. And I don't do too much to him, but it is enough that he actually has to consider staying in, because I put a lot of pressure on him with just having Ice Beam now, just clicking Ice Beam. So I just go for a Wish. Well, he goes for a Wish, I just continue clicking Ice Beam, and this is the stall I was worried about. But I win this stall thanks to it being Toxic. So at this point I win the game, because Umbreon cannot break the Substitute, and if he needs to attack me and deal tremendous amount of damage to me. To break, well, not tremendous amount, but he needs to deal over 20% of damage to me, which I don't think he has anything on his team that can do with a U-turn or something like that. He really needs to go out to 2 Zards to Pokemon and deal some damage. But we take care of Moonlight here. We just have some Wish Protect stalling here with Iron Final. I was a bit scared that I would run out of Ice Beam, so I just went for Thunderbolt sometimes. There was also a way for him to... Okay, he might go for Thunderbolt. I might be able to go save my Umbreon and go into Gliscor, protecting the Thunderbolt, but I really didn't want to do that too much. But yeah, that happens, and then this. I thought it was on lower health, but it was not. I went for the Flamethrower. I go for the Ice Beam here, and I miss out on the kill with 2%, which was a bit sad. He gets the Wish, but that doesn't really matter. I wanted to kill him now. But he clicks Flamethrower, I don't know why. Well, he was locked into Flamethrower, of course, was Choice Scarfed. But like, he does nothing to me. I can just roost up here. He has to be on the safe side for the rest of his team, because I don't remember what they set at. And then I just click U-turn here, I think. I just click U-turn, and I go into Slowbro. And now just click Scald and Ice Beam, and I win the game. So yeah, this is pretty... There was an interesting battle, to say the least. Slowbro with 3 more kills in this match. Actually, he's going up to 4 kills in this match, because the Toxic kill on Umbreon as well. So yeah, Slowbro is now up on the top 15 kill leaders, which is pretty neat. And above him sits the other Slowbro that got drafted by Lorx, which is very fun to see. But yeah, we win the game 5-0. I got to say that this could have gone very, very differently, because I thought that I would lose when the Stone Age connected on Regis, and it did 70+% to me. I really thought that I lost the game there, because the rest of my team was such low on health. But I managed to play around with it, and I managed to go through with it. In hindsight, I could have saved Hydreigon, and I could have won the 6-0, but I never played for differential. The only thing I did here that might have been a bit of a differential thing was to actually save God of War, but that was more to have something to sack off later on, after I sacked off Hydreigon, in case I really wanted to. And same goes for Aselgor after I saved that, but I really need to save the Regis, and you saw how important that was, that I could stall out the Umbreon behind the sub. If I got the kill on Nidoking as well, that would have been golden, because then Gliscor could not have killed me, and he would have had to go out into his Mega Aerodactyl. Then he can just gone hard out into pain, and then just switch back onto the Regis. So I mean, I had some ways to win this battle, no matter what happened. But yeah, this will go up on a Monday. Tomorrow, on Tuesday, I will have the DBA minus match going up, which is a very, very fun match, I got to say. I got some heat in that one. And then we have Week 5 coming on upon us, and this week, Week 5, we are facing Mimikyu in the PSL. And I have never won versus Mimikyu. I faced Mimikyu 3 times, and I've lost all 3 times. So yeah, I really need to pick up a win versus him, because the rest of my division is actually doing pretty well. Ian has had a bit of a tough luck. Like, really, there's not a lot he can do. He just had the worst of luck possible. But with that said, I don't think I have anything else to add. GG, Dawson. Really good game. And I will see all of you next time.